How'd you like this for your to-do list for this Sunday? Get a little beach action, get out on the water, enjoy some of the natural beauty here in Southern California. Then make your way over to Angel Stadium for Mariner baseball. Today as the Mariners wrap up the road portion of the 2015 season, and they'll do it in the finale against the Angels. Jared Weaver, here he is taking the mound, taking the field here and headed to the mound. Well, he'll face the Mariners. Last time he saw him, he got run from the game in the Kyle Seager incident. Here's a look at the rest of the Mariner batting order.
For manager Lloyd McClendon leading off, it'll be Ketel Marte, his first major league home run in last night's ball game. Then it is Seager, Cruz, Cano, Montero, and Smith in the middle of the lineup. Morrison getting the start in right field. He will bat seventh. Brad Miller out in center field on this road trip. 7 games, .444 batting average with the home run. And John Hicks will do the catching and round out the 9 for the Mariners. For Weaver on the year, 7-12, tough year for him. A 4.86 ERA in 148 innings, just 85 strikeouts. He's only walked 30 batters. Opponents hitting .271, and he's given up 23 home runs.
First pitch to Marte, up high for ball one. 90 degrees here at first pitch. 12:38. Weaver's speeds, man, things change over the years. Slow, and slower.
Well, that curveball, 67 miles an hour. You look at it, it's been a struggle for him, and you can see why. His average fastball this year is at 83. When we were at Safeco, his fastball was probably more like 80, 81, Dave. So his velocity has really gone down for him. And he basically will throw everything but a knuckleball at you. Has a changeup, curveball, cutter, slider, and, of course, his fastball.
2-2 to Marte. First major league homer last night. This one popped up, Ibar backing up. And Murphy just scoots out of the way at the last second.
Take a look at the defense for the Angels. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. David Murphy getting the start in left field. Mike Trout, what a catch last night. He is in center. Cole Calhoun, really good throwing arm in right. David Freese is the third baseman. Ibar and Giavotella playing up the middle. C.J. Cron is at first. And Carlos Perez will do the catching. For Weaver on Monday against the Astros, 5 2/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. He threw 108 pitches in that outing.
Well, here's Kyle Seager. And the first pitch. Slow breaking ball for called strike one. Seager 7 for 32 against Weaver. Mile high pop, short center field. Trout, 2 outs. A quick 2 outs here in the Mariners first. You watched a lot of Johnny Carson back in the day, right?
Quite a bit.
I feel like Ed McMahon here. With this being the last road game, I hold in my hand the last envelope in the Karnak routine, bringing back some oldie and goodies. and the audience goes, yeah, all right. Yeah.
Well, let's end it with a win today so that the Mariners will have a winning record on the road this year. 40-40 on the road. It's an opportunity to have a winning record.
Cruz with 2 career home runs off of Weaver. Slugger like Cruz, how's he affected by the guy that's throwing these 3 slow speeds?
I think for Nelson, because you were talking about it last night, Dave, his ability to hit the ball the other way I think is a big plus for him. And he's not afraid to let the ball travel, so I don't really think it's going to affect him at all. Yeah, he can hit the good fastball. His home run earlier in this series was 97 miles an hour, but he'll adjust to it. Turned on that fastball at 81, probably just in off the plate.
One, 2 to Nelly. Struck him out. 86 beating. 1, 2, 3 in the first. Sashi Iwakuma, 5-0 on the road. 2.41 ERA, about to take the mound for the Mariners. Sashi Iwakuma going for his third consecutive victory, and it would be his second win over the Angels in the last 10 days. Not a bad situation for the Mariners.
For Mike Scioscia leading things off, it'll be the veteran Eric Ibar. Calhoun, Trout, 40 home runs on the year. He will hit third. Pujols, the DH, batting cleanup, 37 home runs for him. Then it's Murphy, Crone, David Freese, the walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth last night. He will hit seventh. And it's Perez and Giavotella rounding out the 9 for the Angels. For Iwakuma on the air, looking for his 10th win, a 3.67 ERA, 102 strikeouts to only 21 walks. Opponents hitting .231 against Iwakuma.
Eric Ibar is going to lead off, 1 for 4 last night. Seager in at third. Some pulled foul. Strike one.
Against the Angels this year, Iwakuma 2-1 with a 2.25 ERA. He's really pitched well against the Angels. I'm still marveling at his last 2 outings.
Right.
Against the Angels in Kansas City, 13 total innings, 1 earned run, but 19 strikeouts over the 13 innings.
A lot of good work. Showing bunt. It's a ball. Good little player here, veteran Eric Ibar. He's a .207 career hitter against Iwakuma. Cano's got it. Flips to Montero.
Take a look at the rest of the defense for the Mariners, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Seth Smith getting the start in left field. Brad Miller out in center. And Logan Morrison, rare start for him in right. Kyle Seager at third. Marte and Cano playing up the middle. Jesus Montero robbed of a home run last night. He is back at first base, and John Hicks will do the catching. We'll take a look at the last 3 starts for Iwakuma. Combined 4 earned runs.
Cole Calhoun. Back through the box, base hit. Now next up, reigning MVP, Mike Trout. I'm sure by now you've seen it about 100 times, and it's still amazing at 100 times you see it. One of the great catches you'll ever see. Mike, you were on the field with Griffey. He made some of his catches. Where do you put that one last night, that 3-run robbery of Montero?
Well, I thought about it a lot after the game, obviously, and then again this morning, and I had a real good conversation with Tim Salmon. Played right field here for the Angels for a lot of years, played against Junior for a lot of years, and he and I were having the same discussion. And I think for myself, that was spectacular last night, but I think the best catch that I've ever seen is the one, unfortunately, where Junior ended up breaking his wrist. And it was because when you're on the field, as I was, he was out towards left center field, and Kevin Bass hit the ball to right center up against the big wall in the Kingdome. And to see Junior cover the distance that he covered and to jump through the air and catch the ball literally inches from the wall. And then everybody remembers the Spider-Man deal that he used to do where he would just hit with his feet and his hands and he'd come down without a problem. But he went in there with so much speed and reckless abandon for his body and able to hang on to that ball. Unfortunately, we lost him for 3 months because of it. But 2 different kinds of catches. But that one, for me, I think as far as difficulty goes, was probably the best I've seen.
About how far do you think Junior ran? 50, 80 yards?
Oh, well, I would say probably closer to 50, 60, somewhere in there, it seemed like. Yeah.
And we're talking top speed, too.
Yeah. And, Junior, he's a highlight reel in himself.
Absolutely.
But if you think, and this is where Tim Salmon made a good point last night, too, and I know that Junior had some also, but he said that when you look at where the Angels are in their season, a half a game behind Houston, if that ball goes over the fence, the Mariners win the game. What does that do to them the rest of the way out?
Compounded by the fact that it looks like Street is done, too.
Yep. And they already lost Smith, the guy that pitches for him in the A's. So he's at this point in the season and where they're at, he thought that was pretty big.
Did well, deep right center field. Lomo going back, and there he is, making the catch. Marson with a throw to first. Back safely is Calhoun. Lomo, just the second outfield start this season. The only other time was in left field.
All right, take a look at Logan. Has his glasses on, fighting the sun. He knows where the wall is. Even though Logan hasn't played much right field this year, or he played some last year, but not much this year. I'm sure he showed up today, was probably asked about it or saw himself in the lineup and is happy to do it. That's the one thing you can bet. He just wants to be in the lineup.
Boy, talking about, hey, man, why'd you put Lomo in there? I need as many left-handers as possible. Plus, I got to get Montero in there. Montero, 6 for 12 with 5 homers against Weaver, so he's got to play. Albert Pujols, 14th all-time in home runs in Major League Baseball, 557 home runs.
And having a good series, 3 for 7 with a home run, a couple of RBIs for him. 37 home runs on the year, 89 RBIs for Pujols.
I'll hang up for Lomo. Nice hitting by Iwakuma, gives up a base hit to Calhoun. That's it. Second inning coming up here on a nice day in Anaheim. Night for the final BECU family night of the season. The Mariners will take on the Astros. First pitch at 7:10. Each member of the family can pick up select view level seats for one low price. So get your tickets, Mariners.com. Inning number 2 here in Anaheim. Mariners 3-5 on this road trip. Fans still coming in. Angels very much in the thick of things. A half game behind Houston for the second wild card position. Here's Robinson Cano.
Cano with a 9-game hitting streak. It's the longest active streak in the American League right now. Over the 9 games, hitting .306 with 5 runs scored, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs.
.356 career hitter against Weaver. They give him a big gap at right center. 0-2. Weaver here at home over the course of his career, 73-30, 2.67 ERA. And a year ago, this is what Robbie did. Home run numbers a little bit better. The average has been on a steady, actually on a very hot climb, second half of the season. Sharply hit, or handled by C.J. Cron. Well, this is going to be interesting. Jesus Montero, 4-game hitting streak. His profile against Weaver, 6 for 12, 5 of the hits, home runs. And Jesus, if you're going dead central, get it up high and aim for the green in the back. Expect Weaver to come anywhere near his hitting zone here.
He's going to try to stay away from it.
High pop, Giovitella.
Montero.
Number 2.
Yeah, Montero would like to have that pitch back. Fastball at 81 miles an hour right in the middle of the plate. And we'll take a look at the swing by Montero, and you can see the location of that pitch. They were trying to go inside, and he left it out over the plate.
When you get one like that, how long do you beat yourself up on something like that? Until the next at bat, for the next couple of minutes, for the next half hour?
Oh, he'll be fine by the time he gets back out into the field, and then he'll think about it on the flight home.
Good point.
I think it's a 2.5-hour flight. He'll think about it for about 2.5 hours.
I mean, when you get an opportunity like that, I mean, wheelhouse with nothing on it.
Well, the thing is and you look at Weaver, and we talked about it, his average fastball these days is 83 miles an hour. So as a hitter, you're not worried about putting him in play as you take a look at his velocity and the way that it has dropped over the years. You're hoping for a mistake in the middle of the plate because you know he's going to change speeds, throw a lot of breaking balls and change-ups and that kind of thing. And if you get it, you don't want to miss it. And that was one right there for Jesus. So he'll think about that one. But the good news for him is he'll probably have a couple more at-bats. So
1-2 to Seth Smith, 2 out, nobody on.
Angels with the shift on with Smith hitting.
316 hitter against Weaver with a home run. Two and two. Home plate umpire today, Marvin Hudson, David Rackley at first, Bob Davidson at second, and Hunter Wendelstadt at third. They give Smith a huge right center field gap between Trout and Calhoun. Bouncing ball right to Giovitella. Weaver's retired the first 6 men he's faced. No score here in Anaheim. Brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Final 6 home games of the 2015 season. Where did it go? Houston coming in 3 biggies. And then the A's with a day off in the middle there on Thursday. And then the playoffs start Tuesday a week. These playoffs are going to be a lot of fun. And I look forward to next Sunday at this time when all the games start at 12:15 Pacific time. So hopefully we'll have some furious finishes. That's the goal. Lucked into it a few years ago. This time around, they said, "Hey, let's see if we can recreate that again." David Murphy leading off, and Cano will take care of the first out.
It's an interesting game today when you think about it, with Iwakuma and Weaver going. Neither one of them possess an overpowering fastball. Kuma's fastball obviously better. But a couple of guys that really do an excellent job of trying to pitch their way through a lineup and around the game and stay out of trouble. And a big part of that is going to be to try to keep the ball on the ground. A couple of ground outs for Iwakuma so far.
Iwakuma right now wants to keep C.J. Cron in the ballpark. He's homered in the first 2 games of this series. Home run in the 6th last night tied the score at 2-2. And a home run back on Friday's game, a 2-run shot in the 7th inning in what became an Angels 8-4 win.
Well, he's hurt him on pitches out over the plate. Both home runs going towards center field. One just right of dead center. And a pretty good pitch right there. Pitch on the corner, right at the top of the strike zone.
Two one. Count evens. Iwakuma looking for his first strikeout. Giving up just a 1 hit. Cole Calhoun base hit right back up the middle in the first inning.
I don't think the pitchers today are going to be afforded too many mistakes. It's 90 degrees here, wind blowing straight out. Good day to be a hitter.
That smoked to right field. Lomo back to make the catch. Bring up David Freese. And all he did was provide the game winner last night. 0-1 pitch, cutter that didn't cut enough from Danny Farquhar. And Freese leading off the 9th last night. Straightaway center field wins the game 3-2. Strike to Freese, 1-1. Foul ball hit to the on-deck circle where Carlos Perez, the catcher, waits. 1-2. The only walk-off home run in St. Louis Cardinal World Series history belongs to that man there, David Freese. Comebacker. Easy inning. Had 1 base runner through the first 2 innings. Back to Anaheim in a moment. MLB history. Take you back just a year ago. Mariners beat the Angels 2-1 in 11, set up game number 162 of the season, trailing the A's by a game for the second wild card spot. And oh, the heartbreak just missed. It was about midway through our game when the result came in that Oakland had Oakland had beaten Texas, I believe it was. And that sealed the fate of the Mariners, and they were done and lifted Felix. And he got a big ovation at Safeco Field. It's Logan Morrison.
Which, to your point that you mentioned, this year all the games are going to start at the same time.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens because some of them are going to be meaningful.
Strike to Morrison. He's 2 for 12 against Jared Weaver. 17 homers, 53 runs batted in for Logan. The 0-2 pitch. Hit foul. Cuomo, Brad Miller, and John Hicks, 7, 8, 9 in the order for the Mariners. Popped up and playable for the catcher, Carlos Perez. The Mariners looking for their first hit as Weaver has retired the first 7 men that he's faced.
Well, maybe it'll be Brad Miller. Having a good month of September, hitting .346 in the month, scored 6 runs, 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run. He's driven in 9.
Mariners haven't hit a ball hard yet. See how they do here. Weaver, this season against the Mariners, 0-2 with a 5.91 ERA. Strike 2 to Brad. This had a tough go against Weaver, 2 for 18. Mariners at 40-40 on the road. Love to get this win. Maybe they go home and get on a nice run. Because they're going to have to finish at 500. Here's a drive. Right field, that Calhoun fielding for the wall. He's on the track. Nice catch. Edom beat down. I'll bring up John Hicks. 1 for 27 since being called up. Got that hit first start.
First
against
at
the
bat.
White Sox. Yeah.
Yeah. Been a tough go since then.
Oh my. 0 for his last 26.
And Weaver's doing exactly what we expected him to, mixing things up. His fastball, sorry, Davis. Fastball's topped out at 86, and he's throwing a curveball up there as slow as 67.
And guys are so dialed in and so used to seeing heat. This is a major change. Strike 3 called. Weaver perfect through 3. We'll score here in Anaheim. Seattle Mariners baseball here on Root Sports, being brought to you by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. 90-degree day here in Southern California. We're in Anaheim, Angel Stadium. Dave Simmons, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew, Sashi Iwakuma, and Jared Weaver, both off to outstanding starts. This will be Carlos Perez, the catcher, followed by Johnny Giavitello, the second baseman, and Eric Ibar, the shortstop, 8, 9, and 1. Right below us, it sounded like something broke.
Sounded expensive, didn't it?
Good call. It sounded expensive. 1-1. Strike 2. Pumas allowed 1 hit. Cole Calhoun, second man to the plate, single to center.
24 pitches, 17 strikes for Iwakuma. Good pitch right there, just missing with the slider.
Kuma in the month of September, 4 starts, a 3-1 record, 1.75 ERA. Best month. Red Miller scoots over, makes a catch. Johnny Giavitello.
No triples today.
Triple. My goodness, he had a triple and a single. Drove in 2 runs on Friday. Triple to right center Friday. Pretty much the same spot in last night's game. And on the game on Friday, he had taken a couple pitches up and in from Tony Zick, and he tripled on a 3-2 pitch.
Best part about that triple was his dive into third. Reminded me of Pete Rose.
Yeah. And he took off from a long way out, too, didn't he?
And he hit the ground hard. But it was a triple.
And Seager, snag, and he throws him out. That's a fine, fine play. 2 down.
That is so difficult when you're at third base, especially when you're playing in like Kyle was, because you can't tell how hard it's hit. And this was a jam shot. It hits like right towards the end of the grass, comes up, and you can see Kyle make an adjustment real quick with his glove. I think when it was first hit, he thought maybe he was going to have to dive for it, but able to keep his feet as that ball comes up on him. Good adjustment.
Two outs back to the top of the order, and here's Ibar.
And you can see Kyle shaking his head.
Kyle creeping in at third, bunt shown, and there's a strike. One. Outfield straight away for Ibar. 1-1 for Iwakuma. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sharply hit into right field, a base hit. Second hit for the Angels, second hit of the ball game. Two outs and a man aboard. Next time you catch a Mariners game at Safeco Field, make sure you meet everyone's favorite mascot, the Mariner Moose. We're going to be hanging out in the Seattle Children's Moose Den, located on the main concourse in center field. Stop by and say hello to the big fella. Here's Calhoun. Singled up the middle, first time up. puts a charge into this one. Deep left center field. Miller has it scoped and he makes the catch. Well done. One hit and a runner left. No score. We go to the fourth. Your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag RTNW DataStrongFan. Just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Mariners fourth. It'll be the top of the order is Jared Weaver. Retired the first 9 men that he's faced. Mariners not hit the ball hard just yet. See if Marte can ignite something here. Popped out the short. Our last several stops since Marte has been with the big ball club. A lot of people, scouts, broadcasters, writers, hey, I like that shortstop. Done a lot of good work. Here comes Trout. Ibar going back. Ibar's got it.
Good job of fighting the sun right there.
Like he had a much better angle, too. It's a hot day as you look down in the grandstand in the lower bowl. Everybody fanning themselves. 90 degrees here in Anaheim. The old Brock umbrella. That is a fair ball. Shoots it down the line into the corner. Extra bases for Seager. Calhoun, a good throwing arm. Gets it back in quickly. Calhoun's got 10 assists, so Rich Donnelly, the third base coach, well aware of that. Double for Seager is 36th.
Kyle just missed a fastball his first time up, skied it to center field. This time a first pitch fastball again, 83 miles an hour, and hits it right down the line.
First Mariner base hit, first Mariner base runner. And the first ball hit hard, too. Here's Cruz. Now he struck out on a 1-2 pitch. Ball 1 to Nelson. Wild card chase certainly is fascinating. Minnesota and Cleveland, they're going to hook up for 4 games starting tomorrow night. Here's Seager. Second base. Outside to Cruz.
Really like to see Cruz get hot over these last 7 games. He's right at 90 RBIs. I'd like to see him get to 100.
already sitting on a career best 43 home runs. 45, anything 45 plus is going to look good too. Wet that towel down, you're good to go. Minnesota has defeated Detroit 7-1. Another foul ball.
A couple of curveballs, both of them in the middle of the plate. 67 miles an hour.
Unreal, isn't it?
It's tough to stay back on a curveball that slow. Guys just aren't used to seeing it.
Houston 2-1 over Texas in the 7th. Toronto's won their game 5-4 against Tampa Bay. Yankees winning against the White Sox in the 8th. Reached out and pulled it into the hole. Play in front of them, and they get Seager. 2 outs.
Looked like Kyle, when the ball is hit to your right, you automatically stay. And it looked Kyle decided he was going to stay and then decided to go. He thought that ball had a chance to get through and wanted to get a better jump. And good play by Ibar. He's not going to miss that. Play right in front of him, an easier play. Would have been tough to throw Cruz out.
2 outs. Cruz board on a fielder's choice. Here's Cano. Grounded out the first.
Pretty good changeup.
Probably looking to extend his hitting streak to 10 ball games. Cleveland losing at Kansas City 2-1. The Royals had a combined no-hitter going into the 7th inning that was just broken up. Chris Young was on the mound. Wow. 1-2 to Cano. During your time, anybody throw this softly?
Well, Jamie.
Outside of him.
Not that I can think of. I think of his name. Closer for Cleveland.
Oh, Doug Jones?
Doug Jones. There you go. Great changeup.
Yeah, I remember.
But he, as a closer.
Yeah, with the big, he had the big mutton chop mustache.
Yeah. Not much of a fastball. Great changeup.
Came about, he would come sidearm sometimes.
Oh, yeah, he'd do everything. Throw everything up there, too.
He had a couple, if I remember correctly, he was about top 5 in saves for about 2 years.
Number of years, yeah.
Doug Jones, yeah.
Jimmy Key towards the end.
Towards the end, right. Randy Jones was a starter. You probably didn't see a lot of him. He was over in the National League most of his time.
I was talking to Mark Langston before the game, and he brought up Frank Tanana.
When he finished up, because Frank was bringing gas when he started.
When he first showed up, yeah.
Cano's hitting streak lives at 10. All right, now Montero, he's shaking off that first at bat, see if he can do some damage here. 6 for 13, 5 homers against Weaver.
Had a good fastball to hit his first time up, popped it up to the second baseman.
Mariners threatening here in the fourth inning. Couple of men aboard with 2 outs. And he blows it by Freeze. Cruz lumbering. Murphy hesitated. Here's a throw, and Cruz will score standing up. 1-0 Mariners as Jesus Montero continues to torture Jed Weaver. That's another hit and another RBI.
You mentioned it, Lloyd, saying had to get him in the lineup because of the numbers, and it pays off for him. Off speed pitch, 75 miles an hour, probably a little slider, and hits it past Freeze at third. You can see Cruz is still not running well, trying to protect that quad, but able to score.
Montero's 19th run batted in. Runners at first and second for Seth Smith. Seth grounded out the second to end the second inning. Two 2-0. Three 3-0 to Seth. Making sure they are together. Looked like Perez may have been crossed up on that one.
Oh, I think he definitely was crossed up. You can see by the way that he tried to just knock the ball down. He was expecting it to go in the dirt. He was getting ready to block it.
So 3-1 count. Seth Smith. Logan Morrison's on deck. Strike two. Seth didn't like that call. Marvin Hudson, full count. What's he come back with here?
Well, last pitch was a little cutter. I think he'll probably go to his changeup.
Runners take off.
Curveball.
And a high fly ball right field. Easy play for Calhoun. Mariners get a run on 3 hits. No errors. Leave 2. Iwakuma's got a 1-0 lead. The Angels. Mariners lead it 1-0. Trout, Pujols, and Murphy against Hisashi Iwakuma. Trout flied out deep to right center field in his first time up. A little slow breaking ball from Iwakuma. Who's going to hit it? Throw a strike at the slowest velocity today. Is it going to be Kuma or is it going to be Weaver?
Weaver right now is the leader at 66 miles an hour, and that was the curveball he just threw to Seth Smith. So I think Weaver can get to 64-ish. I'm not sure that Iwakuma can do that.
We saw 63 from Weaver on the 16th back home.
Yeah, that's right. It is amazing that you can throw a pitch up there that slowly and still get people out with it.
1-2 to Trout. Ball one. Kuma's given up a first inning single to Calhoun and a third inning single to Ibar. No strikeouts, no walks. Weaver struck out 2. He hasn't walked anybody. He's given up an RBI single to Montero. Two.
Pretty good split right there down out of the strike zone. Trout able to lay off of it. Typically, Iwakuma throwing a split in that area. You can see it on the tracer. It's going to get him to chase it.
Outfield straightaway and deep for Trout. 40 homers, 88 runs batted in. Laser shot, right field, base hit. I'm going to bring up Mr. Pujols. A reminder, this coming Friday is Fan Appreciation Night, fireworks night as well. It features a big parade of prize giveaways from airline tickets to flat screen TVs. And thanks to T-Mobile, an Apple iPad Air 2 will be given away every inning. That's not bad. Stick around after the game. Fantastic fireworks show. Go to mariners.com/fan for tickets. Minimal lead by Trout. Back safely. Pujols flied out to right in his first at bat. That's it, strike one. Albert 1 for 3 last night with a single to right. 2 for 4 on Friday with a 2-run homer in the first. A 7th inning single to right. Off the end of the bat, Kuma will take the easy out at first. These first 2 games, we've seen a lot of balls hit right off the end of the bat. And what was that play yesterday where the ball looked like it did a snake move off the end of the bat, and it turned, it came back and foul. It was a bunt that went foul, right?
We've seen a couple of them in this series. I think it was the first game. I want to say it was Logan Morrison off of his bat when he was pinch hitting towards the third baseman. The third baseman went towards the line. It hit and kicked back the other way. Picked up a base hit and an RBI on that play. So, yeah, it's been strange.
David Murphy. Trout with the tying run. He's out at second. 1 out. The Murph grounded out to Cano at second base. Kuma's put up some good numbers and a bunch of them jump off the page. 1-5-0 road record, a 2.41 ERA in 8 previous starts. Kuma's 19th start of the season. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two-one pitch to Murphy. Swung on it, missed.
Good curveball from Iwakuma.
Well, this sure is a big difference from some of the previous matchups we've seen during the course of the season. We get a couple fireballers going at each other.
Yeah.
Here, these guys, the same playbook. Tantalizingly slow pitches. Timing is really thrown off. Until then, Trout coming around third. He's going to score easily. New ball game at 1-1. Murphy delivers. His 47th run batted in. He's had his share of success against Iwakuma, starting today at 286, hitting with 2 homers against Musashi.
Well, he's one of the more difficult hitters for him because it just sprays the ball around. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Not a bad pitch at the bottom of the strike zone. 85 miles an hour and towards the end of the bat, but he'd pick up that soft line drive in a run. I think it's the guys that don't overswing are the ones that are going to have the best opportunity to get to either one of these 2 pitchers today.
C.J. Cron lined out to right. Strike 1. Ball down to Seager. They go around the horn. 5-4-3 double play. Angels tie it up, and Brett Adam, after this break, is going to show you some fisticuffs in D.C., not of the political nature. volatile situation.
I have a pretty good idea who's going to end up getting the better end of that deal.
Well, who can afford to buy in Washington, you mean?
Well,
buy a home in Washington?
Yeah, exactly. Harper's not going anywhere. Tough year for him. A lot of expectations. Things did not go well in Washington.
He had the great year, but boy, their bullpen killed him in the last 2 series against the Mets, and the majority of the second half. Logan Morris, 0-2. Logan fouled out to the catcher Perez, first time up.
Logan getting the start in right field today, and he's already made a couple of plays out there. Didn't seem to bother him too much. 61 pitches for Weaver, 43 strikes.
Oof. That one got away.
Center fielder, number 5, Brad Miller.
Watch Jared Weaver's reaction. Not part of his game plan.
No intent there. Heading the count 1-2 in a 1-1 ball game, and his club's trying to get in the postseason.
Brad Miller looking to extend his hitting streak to 5 ball games. Flied out to right.
You can see all those off-speed pitches. 14% fastballs today.
One pitch here to Miller. A rip at it. 0-2.
Good pitch to hit. That was a fastball, 81 miles an hour, right in the middle of the plate. Good swing by Brad, just missed it.
The 0-2. Morrison at first. Big man can run a little bit. Brad's got good speed. Weaver working 1 and 2 in this 1-1 ball game. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Safe. Lomo with his 8th stolen base.
Bob Davidson, veteran umpire, was right on top of it. Ibar thought that he was able to keep the tag on Logan, I think. Logan did slide past the bag, but he was able to reach back with his hand. We'll take another look. Good pitch to run on. Slow curveball.
All right, he's sitting there. Oh, did he stay on? Ooh. Did he get another tag on before he reached back?
That's the question. He clearly beats it. His foot hits the bag there. You can see it. Now he's off.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he was touching him, though.
It was close. We'll take a look at it.
Another look at Logan.
He was in the... Can't really tell from that angle.
It's just a matter of whether Ibar was able to keep contact with him, because he clearly came off the base.
That second view, here's a good look at it.
He beats the throw, and then he'll go over the top of the bag. That's close.
That's very close.
Good news for the Mariners is he was called safe, so they're going to have to see something to overturn it.
Well, if it stands, Morrison will have his 8th stolen base. And Brad Miller is going to have a 2-2 count. Hopefully Lomo will be out there in scoring position. Quick decision. Here we go. Out. 64 seconds on a review, one of the quicker ones we've had all season. One out. Brad's got a 2-2 count. Take another look. Last Airlines Super Mo. Say that it was right
there.
Yep.
You can see his number move.
Slow breaking ball gets Brad Miller looking. It's only 2 outs. Perez thought that was a 3rd out. He was the only one headed towards the dugout, although Weaver did walk off the mound. 2 away. Weaver's 3rd strikeout. There's John Hicks. Caught looking on an 0-2 pitch. First time up. Hits it hard, and that will get down. 2nd career big league hit for John Hicks. That breaks an 0 for 27. Good for him. It's his first double as a major leaguer. Didn't mess around. First pitch, go get it.
Yeah, went after a fastball, 82 miles an hour, down in the zone, but stayed with it. So he hooks it down into the corner.
Boy, you know that feels good. So here's Marte. Hicks at 2nd, 2 outs.
Marte has done a good job hitting with runners in scoring position. .343 batting average for Marte.
Twice popped up to Ibar, 0 for 2. Throw down to 2nd, and they got Hicks. He's dead meat. Man. Mariners had a runner thrown out at 3rd in the 4th inning, and now they get a catcher wondering with 2 outs in the 5th, in scoring position and a good hitter at the plate. 1-1 ball game. Go, David Freese last night, game winner. A cutter thrown by Danny Farquhar for Freese, his 12th home run, 52nd run batted in. And that kept the Angels a half game behind Houston for the 2nd wild card position. Freese leading off here. Looks at a strike. David Murphy, an RBI single in the home fourth. After Jesus Montero, the top half of the frame, put the Mariners ahead 1-0. There's a drive to right field. Backing up Lomo, looking up. Gone. David Freese, another home run against the Mariners. 2-1 Angels.
He seems to like this time of year.
Good grief.
We talked about it all year. His power to right field, his home run to dead center field last night. This went over the tall wall in right. And he gets a fastball. Looks like it's in the middle of the plate at 87 miles an hour and hits it the other way.
Freese with his 13th home run, 53rd run batted in. 18th homer given up by Iwakuma. That looks like it may drop, and it will. Off the bat of Carlos Perez. Our CenturyLink What's Next? You'll see Roenis Elias going against young Lance McCullers. The Houston Astros in town. Astros currently holding the second wild card position behind the New York Yankees.
McCullers, good fastball in the mid-90s. A lot of sliders from him.
Johnny Giavotella. Seager made a nice play on him to throw him out in the third inning. Not much of a lead for Perez. Bunt shown, gets it down. It's a good one. Kuma looks at second, takes the out at first. Sack 1-4. That bunt down on the first pitch. We don't see that often.
Nope.
Improve your on-bus percentage. Riding is easy. Just ask our Rider's Guide, available at soundtransit.org.
I think if Iwakuma would have been able to get to the bunt just a little bit quicker, he had a chance to get the runner at second base. Perez, catcher, does not run well. That'll bring up Ibar. Ibar 1 for 2, had a base hit his last time up. Solid line drive into right field.
Based on what I'm seeing here late in this second half, I think the bunt is going to be a big play in the playoffs this year. Bigger than what we've seen.
I'll agree with you on that. And I think teams that have speed are going to use it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got lane 1, Kansas City.
Good pick.
Man.
I'll go in lane 2 with Pittsburgh.
That's a good call as well. From the Barry Switzer School, they have a lot of athletes.
Mm-hmm. Starts with one of the best players in the National League with McCutchen.
Yeah, buddy. Good ball club.
You can see the breakdown of Iwakuma. About 60% of his pitch is fastballs this afternoon.
Pesky Ibar, 0-1. 1 for 2 so far. Single to right his last time up after grounding out to Cano. Kuma, as you know, very deliberate with the man aboard. Pulled down to Montero. 2 away, advancing to third is Perez. No bargain here with Calhoun. He's 1 for 2.
No, but he's the guy that you want to get because Trout will be on deck here in a minute. Trout's also 1 for 2 and scored a run.
Offensively, if Freese stays on this tear over the last week and they get into the playoffs, that's going to be huge for this ball club. But they're probably, well, no question, their biggest concern, losing Joe Smith and now Houston Street.
You bet.
I mean, that is, you lose the core of your bullpen. That's tough.
Soch was talking about today, they're looking for a reliever somewhere, somehow.
Yeah. Tough break for Houston Street. It was a groin injury that he had. Looked like just a subtle move he made, too, coming off the mound yesterday.
Oh, they're saying he's done for the year.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
And it's amazing. That's maybe not so much in this sport, but football, a lot of times non-contact injury, just a little twist and turn. And
really, that's the way a lot of the ACLs are.
Yeah, good point. It's not like somebody's.
I know mine was.
Is that right? Yeah, you're minding your own business, right?
That was it. Turning around and going back to third.
Right.
Something I've done my whole life. And saw the same thing happen to Tino Martinez in Kansas City when he was with the Mariners. He was at second base, same thing.
Just got up and got up from a slide or something, or what?
No, I was taking a secondary lead on a ball in the dirt.
Right.
The catcher blocked it, and I was just turning to go back to third, and that was it.
And what about Tino? Same kind of thing?
Same thing.
Wow. 3-1 to Calhoun.
He was taking a secondary lead out at second, and that was it.
A run in on the home run by Freeze. The 2-1 Angels advantage, and they threaten here with 2 outs. A 3-1 count to Cole Calhoun. It stays fair. Montero, nice job. A run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. 6th inning coming up, 2-1 Angels. Here in Anaheim. Get your hands on the latest and greatest Mariner Moose poster. They're free to all youngsters at Kids Appreciation Day, presented by Albertson Kid Valley on Sunday. That's next Sunday, October 4th. Prizes, surprises, mascots, more. All of that coming up next Sunday afternoon. So get your tickets right now at Mariners.com. For Jared Weaver, his day's done.
Well, that'll be it. 5 innings, 4 hits, threw the ball well today. 1 run it was earned, didn't walk anybody, 3 strikeouts, threw 71 pitches.
So they get 5 innings out of the soft toss.
Just 71 pitches. Corey Rasmus going to take over for him. 12 appearances on the year. High ERA, a 6.48. In 16 2/3, he has 20 strikeouts, but 10 walks. Opponents hitting .226. He's given up 3 home runs in 16 2/3. And he will get the top of the lineup. Marte, Seager, and Cruz are due up.
I believe that'll translate into some runs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Strike 1 to Marte. 2 pop-ups to shortstop Eric Guibar today. Breaking ball misses. Marte 0 for 1 against Corey Rasmus, brother of Colby Rasmus, outfielder for the Astros. Ibar over to C.J. Crowe, first out. Bring up Kyle Seager, base hit double down the right field line in the fourth inning. Seager 2 for 7 against Rasmus. In terms of velocity for the Mariner hitters, this is more like it.
This is more like it. Yeah, something in the low 90s. A little easier for them to time it. Pretty good changeup right there at 85, which would have been one of the better fastballs from Weaver.
No doubt about it. Fly ball right field. Here comes Calhoun. He broke back him at first. Good recovery speed. 2 away. We'll bring up Nelly Cruz, who's 0 for 2 with a run scored. Cruz 1 for 3 against Corey Rasmus. Mariners run coming in the fourth. RBI single to left by Jesus Montero off of Jared Weaver. Angels getting a fourth inning RBI single from David Murphy and a leadoff homer by David Freese in the fifth. Two balls, 1 strike. To Nelly.
Nelly's been able to lay off of a couple of pretty good sliders just off the outside corner. So take a look at Cano waiting on deck. Extended his hitting streak to 10 games.
Helmet flies off. Full count. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. 2-3 inning for Rasmus. Angels have a 2-1 lead. last night, and what has to be one of the top 1, 2, or 3 catches this season in Major League Baseball. And it was a critical play because that would have been a 3-run homer for Jesus Montero and the Mariners, and they would have been up. Instead, they lose on a walk-off, a game-winning homer. David Freese leading off the 9th. 3-2 Angels. So far today, Trout 1 for 2 runs scored.
Important inning for Iwakuma. You have Trout, Pujols, Murphy, then Crone and Freese. Tough part of the lineup.
Straight away and deep for Trout. Fastball riding high, 1-2. Breaking ball. Popped up foul.
I think the slowest we've seen his curveball today is 70 miles an hour. 62 pitches, 44 strikes for Iwakuma.
All with 2 strikes. Trout entered today's game a .212 hitter career against Iwakuma with 1 home run. Houston up on Texas 4-2, top 9. Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Iwakuma. That's his first strikeout of the afternoon. Make sure you join us Tuesday. It'll be our final Twitter Tuesday of the season. You're going to have 5 chances to win exciting prizes during the Mariners broadcast, so be sure to watch and follow us on Twitter at RootsSports_NW. For giveaway rules, visit us at rootsports.com. Kuma's first K comes here in the 6th. There's Albert Pujols. Fly to right and a comebacker to Iwakuma. Strike 1.
And one of his better fastballs at 91 miles an hour.
Nice and hot today. Get loose. 90 degrees.
He's typically in the upper 80s with his fastball.
Albert lays off, 2-1. Up the batteries last. Down the line, foul. Brooks, bat needs a new one. Two count to Pujols. High fly ball staying in the yard. Center field. Brad Miller with sunglasses on. 2 outs.
I'm going to bring up David Murphy. Murphy 1 for 2. A base hit in the 4th inning. Ended up driving in Trout on the base hit, so he picked up an RBI.
Talked about last night. David Murphy, a lot of kinetic energy in that batter's box before he comes set. Strike one. Good try, but he missed. 1-1. Check down at third. Hunter Wendelstedt said he did not go. Ball 2. The Astros just closed out Texas. Bottom line, they win, improve their standing, and it eliminates the Mariners from any postseason contention. Up the middle, Cano gets a nice friendly hop. Throws out Murphy. Good inning for Iwakuma. 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. 2-1 Angels. Here on Sports, being brought to you by Money Tree. Proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Jack in the Box, taste the new spicy nacho chicken sandwich munchie meal tonight only at Jack in the Box. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Nice hot early fall day here in Anaheim. Good to have you with us, Mariners Baseball. Dave Sims, along with Mike Flowers, the Root Sports crew. 2-1. Angels, and Robinson Cano will lead things off here in the 7th. Second inning of work for Corey Rasmus. It'll be Cano, Montero, and Smith, 4, 5, and 6 for the Mariners. Cano with a base hit his last time up. Takes his hitting streak to 10 games. So Robbie ahead 2-1. Jared Weaver started for the Angels. Went 5 innings, a 4-hit, 1-run ball, no walks, 3 Ks. Crone flips over to Rasmus. There's one down. So Houston wins as we take a look at our Delta Airlines Keep Climbing standings. This is the wild card chase. Astros 82-74. See how important this game is to the Angels. The Twins and the Indians. Twins and Indians are going to hook up for a 4-game set beginning tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a big win for the Twins today to stay a game and a half behind Houston. Didn't lose any ground.
And the Angels control their destiny. Just got to keep racking up W's.
Montero with a base hit his last time up, drove in a run, the one run that the Mariners have.
Strike 2 to Jesus. Oh, 2 count here to Jesus.
Well, looked like a purpose pitch. Try to straighten him up. Probably going to go back away with a slider.
Seen a lot of that against Jesus.
See Perez set up away. Well, that's what it was.
Second strikeout for Rasmus. Hey everybody, Bark of the Park is back this Tuesday, 7:10 start time against the Astros. The special offer includes a ticket for both you and your dog, a Mariners dog bandana, and an invitation for all 4-legged fans to walk around the bases after the game. It's all for only $40. Tickets available right now only at mariners.com/Bark.
Well, Mike Scioscia had Cesar Ramos loose in the pen, the left-hander, but he's going to stay with the righty. Smith and then Morrison due up if Smith can reach base. Miller, another left-handed hitter after that.
In the dirt.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia talking about it before the game with Joe Smith out, his setup man in the 8th, and Houston Street. He's done for the year, so he's going to mix and match the rest of the way out.
Rips it past the diving Crone. Nice job by Seth Smith.
And that will bring out Mike Scioscia. He's going to get the left-hander, be Ramos.
We'll step aside for a moment. 2-1 Angels lead here in Anaheim. One pitch, fifth inning, leading off David Freese. Nighty night. Home run for Freese's 13th, his 53rd run batted in.
It's getting hot. The walk-off home run in the 9th inning last night, and now that home run to give them the lead, 2-1.
World Series hero a few years ago with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Cesar Ramos going to take over, the left-hander. Logan Morrison walking to the plate. "60 appearances on the year. He's pitched well, a 2.15 ERA, 42 strikeouts, 12 walks, and 50 in a third. Opponent's hitting .277 against him. He's given up a couple of home runs.
First pitch to Logan Morrison, ball one. Morrison 1 for 3 against Ramos.
Good count for Logan. 2-0. Logan can reach base. Brad Miller waiting on deck.
Tried to wail on it and missed it.
All 3 pitches from Ramos away from him. He'll give up a base hit the other way. He doesn't want to get hurt on a home run.
Look at the playoff chase series beginning tomorrow. Minnesota at Cleveland for 4, Houston at Seattle, at the Mariners for 3, A's at the Angels, Detroit at Texas, Boston at the Yankees, and Toronto at Baltimore. A lot of good matchups. Playoff implications abound. Breaking ball, hit foul.
And Toronto beat Tampa today 5-4. For the game, just watching them scroll the league leaders. Toronto's unreal,
right?
3 out of the top 4 RBI guys are in the Toronto lineup.
Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion.
You got it.
And that's with Tulo trying to work his way back coming off the injury.
Right.
Foul ball. It's an offensive team. Look at Morrison trying to make something happen here for the Mariners in the 7th with the man aboard. Two outs. Romo hit a huge home run here in Anaheim. Last visit here last season to keep the Mariners very much in a playoff chase hunt. Great to see him come up big here now.
This will be the 8th pitch at the at-bat. He's had to work hard to get to the 3-2 count.
Breaking ball to Matella. On the spot to throw him out. No runs, a hit, no errors, a man left. We go to the home 7, 2-1 Angels. Lottery win would change your bucket list. Played today. 2 on Angels. Let's check in with Fred Adam at the Ford Sports Desk. All right, Brad, thank you. Iwakuma throwing a nice ball game. 18 of 22 first pitch strikes, only 1 3-ball count today, Mike.
Well, and you can see he's been efficient with his pitches, just 10 pitches, 11, 12, 14. His high pitch count in an inning was last inning with 15, 73 total, so he's in good shape there. Right now it's been the solo home run by David Freese. That's really hurt him. A lot of first pitch strikes, 23 batters faced, 18 first pitch strikes.
Make sure you stick around after the game. Mariners post game presented by Delta Airlines comes your way. Brett Adam and Dave Valley, Mangimente. I have all the reacts from this final road game of the 2015 season. Iwakuma here in the home seventh has C.J. Cron, David Freese, and Carlos Perez 6, 7, and 8. Oh, breaking ball, swing and a miss.
70 miles an hour on that curveball.
Already weighing deep for Cron. He's going to flip this one over the head of Marte. Left field, base hit.
That is the old hit it like Iwakuma threw it. 70-mile-an-hour curveball and lobbed it into left. And then we'll take a look at it. Give him credit. He stayed on it right off the end of the bat. Pretty good pitch from Iwakuma.
Yeah, but Roger Federer would have returned that service.
I don't know. It hit the ground. Had a little spin to it.
So you got Daniel Robertson's going to pinch run. C.J. Cron. Here's David Freese. Tap back to the pitcher and a home run to right field.
Iwakuma's done a pretty good job holding runners this year. It's tough to steal on him. So the overall numbers for Freese, 233. Correct that. He's hitting 258 with 12 home runs. He's now
back in by Hicks.
Now 13 with the home run that he hit to right field earlier in the ball game.
Pinch runner Robertson in his 35th game has not attempted a stolen base this season. Freese on a good power trip these days. Looking to drive it again.
And another good play by Hicks.
Needs a quality pitch here, 2-0. Freese took a pitch. Took it out of the ballpark, right field last time up, and led off the 5th inning. Now the difference in the ball game, 2-1 Angels.
Fernando Salas getting loose in the pen for the Angels. Nobody throwing in the Mariners' pen. Next pitch will be 80 for Iwakuma.
Hicks couldn't hold on. 2-2. Good battle right here. Iwakuma against David Freese. Montero touches the bag. They'll need a tag at second, and they get it. Nice play. Jesus Montero starting that double play.
See him, he's going to come off the bag with the runner, and the ball takes him right back to first, and a strong throw to second. Plenty of time for Marte.
Marte got hurt a little bit, got dinged on that slide.
It seemed like it was more of his wrist, maybe. And he's waving everybody back. And now Lloyd, Rob Nodine, trainer for the Mariners, going to make a trip out, make sure he's okay. He's looking at his elbow.
Strong, accurate throw.
It looks like he ended up catching an elbow from Robertson, the base runner.
Immediately looked at that right elbow. You can see Robertson's right forearm comes up and hits him around the elbow, but shake it off.
I want to bring up the catcher, Perez. He's 1 for 2.
Carlos with a 5th inning single to left that followed the Freese home run. Mariners run coming on a Montero RBI single to left in the 4th inning. Give the Mariners a 1-0 lead. Freese tied it. Check that, Murphy tied it with an RBI single, and then Freese put him ahead. Two outs, nobody on. And Iwakuma ahead 0-2. Mariners in the 8th will have Miller, Hicks, and Marte, 8, 9, and 1 coming up. That's who's scheduled. So ball and 2 strikes. Carlos Perez, the catcher. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2. Being very careful. David Freese 1 for 3 today, and he returned from an injury back on September 1. And since then, hitting .333. And now we've seen him homer last night and today. Seager takes care of Perez, and the double play, big part of that 7th inning. Kuma throwing a really nice ball game. 2-1. Mariners got to get him some runs. 2-1 Angels. And Braxton sent in this wedding picture. Congratulations. Baseball themed cake.
It's a good looking cake. Nice job.
Congratulations. Here at Angel Stadium, Mariners trail 2-1. Final road game of the season. Brad Miller to lead things off against Cesar Ramos. He's a two-hopper to Giovantello.
And Mark Trumbo has come out of the dugout. He's going to pinch hit for Hicks. John Hicks finished the day 1 for 2, had a double his last time up. And that'll bring out Mike Scioscia. He's going to make a pitching change.
Certainly not surprised by that. 2-1 ball game. He knows Houston's already won. They got some big games coming up. Be right back to Anaheim after this. Insurance and the Mariners invite you to do more with a Grand Slam family package. Get your 4 tickets, hot dogs, and Pepsi soft drinks for one low price for this Wednesday's game. The Mariners be hosting the Astros at 7:10. So go to Mariners.com to pick up your family packages right now. Another pitching change. Fernando Salas takes over. He'll face off against Mark Trumbo.
The third day in a row the Mariners have seen Salas pitch in the first 2 games, and here he is again. 68 appearances on the year, a 4.23 ERA, 71 strikeouts, only 11 walks, and 61 2/3. Opponent's hitting .248. He's given up 7 home runs.
Salas a third of an inning yesterday, 2/3 of an inning on Friday. Friday gave up 2 hits and a run.
And that's why Lloyd has sent Mark Trumbo to the plate, pinch hitting for John Hicks. Hopefully he can hit one out of the ballpark, tie this game up.
Trumbo 0 for 2 against Salas.
Done a nice job pinch hitting, 3 for 4 this year.
One and one. Line drive, backing up Trout.
Hard.
Can't find it. It's gone! He tied it up at 2-2. Boy, talk about hitting one on the line and giddy up and out of here in a hurry. You just saw it right there. Mark Trumbo ties it at 2-2. Blistering home run.
Now 4 for 5 on the year as a pinch hitter, and a screaming home run, line drive over Trout's head. That's why Lloyd sent him up there. Oh, he hit right off the top of the wall.
Yep, right into the hedges. Mark Trumbo with his 13th homer and 40th run batted in. Got a new ball game. Got back so fast that Trout couldn't climb the fence.
He didn't have time to get back there.
It's a new life. Feels good doing it in this ballpark against his old team. Marte looking for his first hit today. Salas gives it up. First hitter on a 1-1 pitch. Good take by Marte.
And a good count for him, 3-1. You never know. Hit his first major league home run yesterday hitting right-handed. Again, his first one hitting left-handed as Kyle Seager waits on deck.
That'll get out of play. Full count. From Salas. Strike, 3 called. 2 outs. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave each month. One lucky pet's going to win a Coors Light Refrigerator just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Strike one to Kyle.
Now 1 for 3 today, has a double to his credit. Hit it right down the first base line. New first baseman Navarro playing right on the line right now, trying to take the double away. Outfielders playing deep.
Seager, career 1 for Forrest Carson Smith. Starts to heat up for the Mariners. Seager 1 for 4 against Salas. It was a home run. Change speeds on him, 1-2. Do it again, 1-2. Staying loose, Iwakuma, 7 innings, 2 runs, 6, make that 7 hits. Got 1 strikeout, given up a home run, and has not walked anybody. Salas ready with the 1-2. Struck him out. Perez will throw that first to Navarro, and that'll do it. Highlight of the inning, the Trumbo home run. Time to score, 2-2. Take a look at it. That's a good heads up, Brad. Appreciate it. Line drive, base hit. Johnny Giavatella's been really a big part. He's going to go for 2. Here's the throw to second. He's in there safely. Goodness gracious. A hustle double by Giavatella.
Well, he came around first. It looked as if he was going to settle for this single, but he had his head up watching the play. We'll take a look at it. Brad coming around. All right.
Missed him.
And he's in there. Yeah, he is in there.
So Featherston is going to run for it. Taylor Featherston. A run for Giavatella.
And one of their best bunters walking up to the plate, Nybar.
One of the best bunters in the league. We've seen plenty of that the last 8-9 years.
You bet.
leads the club with 6 sacrifice bunts. All 6 have come from the left side.
Seager in on the grass. So is Montero at first. And he squares around early.
Suki down to second, safe. This is Sucre taking over the catching duties for John Hicks.
Carson Smith and Joe Beimel ready to go in the pen.
Not a surprise that Ibar is the active leader in bunts in the major leagues with 103 bunt hits. He's butcher boyed before. Gets down the bunt. It's a beauty. Iwakuma over to Cano. Go ahead run at third. Lost start of bunting. Not lost on Eric Ibar.
And we'll take a look at it. Perfect bunt right down the line. Good play by Iwakuma. Sucre going out to the mound. I think he's trying to buy some time right now. We saw Beimel getting loose in the pen. You have Mike Trout due up after that. I'm sure we'll see Carson Smith if he gets to the plate. Calhoun, .236 hitter against lefties this year. And Lloyd out of the dugout.
30 signal. So a hustle double by Giavotella has been a thorn in the side of the Mariners the last 2 games. With a triple yesterday and a triple and a single and a couple RBIs in the game before. We got a 2-1 game, a 2-2 game now with the chance. The Angels, they're threatening big time here in the 8th. Hustle double here. Lead things off.
And you can see Seager, he's trying to take the bunt away, and we've seen Giavotella a couple of triples, and he's constantly hustling all the time. It's a big part of his game. So you can see the base hit, and watch Giavotella, and there's Brad. Brad assuming it's a base hit to center, and then he lobs it back in. Now what you're seeing right there is inexperience. Brad has played shortstop his entire life, and he's trying to figure out center field. He's a great athlete, but in that, he assumed that Giavotella was going to shut it down at first, and in fact, he did for a second. It looked as if he was slowing down. And so sometimes learning experiences at this level can be difficult, but I think you have to give Brad a break. He just get too much inexperience out in center right now as he's trying to learn that position. And a great play by Giavotella. Give him a lot of credit.
Head up. That's key.
The Mariners will have to bring their infield in now as Carson Smith will take over. 67 appearances, a 2.43 ERA, 89 strikeouts, and 66 2/3. Opponent's hitting 198. Mariners like to see a strikeout right here.
Need it big time. One out, Calhoun, the hitter. First pitch. Bounce it off.
Carson has a good fastball, being the low to mid 90s. His best pitch is his slider. He will throw a changeup to the left-handed hitter.
Calhoun 0 for 4 against Carson. Taylor Featherston, the pinch runner. He's at third with one out. Past the diving Montero, slowed it up just maybe a little bit, but nonetheless, run scores 3-2 Angels.
Right off the end of the glove of Montero. It is hit hard. Not sure if it was the slider or the changeup. It was definitely an off-speed pitch.
Now you got Mike Trout. Already struck him out last night to end the 7th inning. Angels back on top 3-2.
Things that you have to keep in mind. Carson can get out of this inning as the Angels do not have their closer. Houston Street leading the league in saves with 40. He is out, ended up hurting himself last night. He's not available.
Trout 1 for 7 against Carson Smith. That is a crippling development, losing streak for these Angels, compounded by the fact they've already lost their setup guy, Joe Smith. 1-0 count here to Trout. Crowded him, missed. 2-0.
Mike Morin is getting loose in the pen for the Angels. Mariners have seen him a number of times this year. Good changeup. He looks like he's ready to go.
Strike to Trout. Jay Vitello starts it off, a hustle double. Ibar gets down the bunt. RBI single, Cole Calhoun, 3-2 Angels. These foul balls sometimes are impressive.
You're right. Late swing on that fastball. Carson's been able to handle Trout, and I think he's been waiting for the slider.
2-2 to Mike. Calhoun, the runner at first. Carson slider's got a money pitch against Trout.
There it is.
Got him again with it. There's 2 outs. Pujols.
Well located slider, 86 miles an hour, just off the outside corner. You can see Trout having to reach for it. Good pitch by Carson.
Brings up Albert Pujols, 0 for 3 today. 0 for 6 against Carson Smith. Plumbo fighting the sun. He's there. And that will do it. Angels take the lead. They get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and leave a man. Last licks for the Mariners coming up. Guys up here, Nelson Cruz, Robinson Cano, and Jesus Montero against Mike Morin. Caleb Coward takes over at third. Taylor Featherston at second. The left fielder, Colin Cowgill.
And Mike Morin on the mound.
Angels have won their last 8 one-run ball games.
For Morin on the year, 42 appearances, a 5.45 ERA. Opponents hitting .244. He's given up 3 home runs. Ooh.
Yep, I agree.
He tried to tie the ball game up with that swing. Had a curveball, 73 miles an hour.
0 for 3 today for Nelly with a run scored, a strikeout looking, a strikeout swinging. Cruz 1 for 5 against Morin. Ooh, he couldn't lay off. Could not lay off. Tough one. 1 out.
Came back with the curveball against 72 miles an hour, and this is right after he threw him a 95 mile an hour fastball.
Last 3 Mariner batters have been struck out. Here's Cano. 1 for 4 against Morin. Strike one. Good work there at the breaking ball. Big 2 to Cano. Didn't get out of play. Impressive stat about the Angels winning their last 8 one-run games. They stay in playoff contention. Ball with 2 strikes.
Tom Wilhelmsen getting loose in the pen just in case.
Fed breaking ball. 2-2. Two and 2 to Robinson Cano. Swing and miss. Got him. 4 consecutive Mariner hitters struck out by Angel pitching. 2 away here in the 9th.
Well, it looks like the breaking ball again, trying to bury it in the dirt, able to get it there. I'll leave it up to Montero. Montero 1 for 3 this afternoon.
First pitch from Morin. Strike one. Deep to left, might have a chance. But it's going to stay in the yard. That is the ball game. Mariners finish this road trip 3-6. They get swept here by the Angels. 5-game losing streak. My goodness.
Another good performance by Iwakuma this afternoon. He gets wasted. The Mariners, not many opportunities. 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Big pinch hit home run by Trumbo to get him right back in the game. But unfortunately, the Angels again score in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that'll do it.
The Mariners finished the road portion of the 2015 season with a record of 40-41. That's it from Anaheim. Talk to you tomorrow from Safeco Field. Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with Brad Dave.
Good job, kid.